Mario Elie was not capping in that Willie D interview. He wasn't capping at all. They need to leave Big U's name out of the Nipsey Hussle situation that took place. And Thugga had some good points about Drake. Straight to the point, man. Sports and entertainment. Hit the like button, sub to the channel. If you're not a member, also hit the notifications to get all of my content, all of my videos. Salute to the ones that have been subs from day one, and salutes to all of my new subs too as well. Appreciate y'all very much. Shout out to the whole entire Lions Den, both basketball and boxing communities. What's up with it, Mike? I see you in here, man. Man, you missed it yesterday, Mike, man. We was talking about football, man. We were getting in on some football for real, for real. I'm going to talk about football later, but we got to handle this right here. I got to talk about Mario Elie, one of my personal favorites. I like Mario Elie. I remember Mario Elie when, of course, he played with Golden State, and then eventually, he became a part of the Rockets franchise. Before I get this video started too, I want to give a shout out to Man Down Sports. If you're not sub to Man Down, definitely go sub to his channel. Definitely objective. He brings a lot of objectivity to the table. I've actually had a personal phone call with Man Down. Real down to earth brother. He's gonna tell you like a TI is. And he definitely got a good solid outlook on the game in general. But the reason why I want to give him a salute is because he was able to break down what Mario Elie, some of what Mario Elie was talking about. But I was going to talk about the whole Willie D interview that Mario Elie had anyways, because I thought it was a very profound interview. Shout out to Willie D, man. Willie D he always does an excellent job interviewing a lot of these people, but I like when he's able to mix it up and talk to the athletes. As you know, Willie D was an athlete himself, being in that square circle, being a boxer. Matter of fact, I think he was a Golden Glove. But Mario Elie, man. Now, to the brother Cypress TV. Cypress and I was having a conversation, and Cypress brought up a good point, man. And now it actually pertained to hip hop, but I believe that he was also talking about sports in general and hip hop in general too. And he said, man, y'all guys are wrong for disrespecting the old school and the people that come before you, because they actually were the ones that laid the foundation. That's why, like, you'll never see me disrespecting the old school at all, you know what I'm saying? Because I actually happen to be a part of that generation in which people are talking about and people are saying, oh, that's old school and stuff like that. I actually came up watching those guys and stuff. And Mario Elie in this interview, man, I think this was a key interview. If you want to know what basketball was like, especially like in the well, the '80s, of course, but the '90s. Even though I put the physicality um, one notch above the '90s in terms of the '80s. You know what I'm saying? I thought the '80s was more physical, but the '90s was physical too. And Mario Elie, man, he broke down a lot in that interview. But the thing that he pinpointed that I want guys to see is that guys didn't cry about if they there were people that complained and stuff, but not as much now. Guys didn't cry if they didn't win a championship. Guys didn't bitch, whine, and complain if they weren't able to get it done. They just went ahead and went back to the drawing board and did what was necessary uh, to try to do it again. Um, and he was saying, that guys didn't really talk back then. Now he said that, of course, Larry Bird, of course, he was a shit talker and everything like that. But he said if you were a shit talker, you better have been good and you better have walked the talk, pretty much. And that's what Larry Bird used to do. Um, of course, man, I'm not going to dominate this conversation talking about LeBron James. Like I said, man, I'm not one of them guys that get off on talking about LeBron 24/7, 365. That's just really not me. But he did say that LeBron James is not in so many words. I'm not going to quote the exact words or whatnot, but he pretty much said that he's not. He can't put him. You can't rank him with Jordan. Okay, and he knows because he played against Michael Jordan. I mean, Mario Elie. For those of y'all that don't know, Mario Elie is known for the shot in which they call the kiss of death, because they played against Phoenix and they were in an uphill battle. They had to come down. They had to, come down from a deficit, and then eventually they were able to advance and eliminate the Phoenix Suns, in which he hit that shot. Because Mario Elie, man, he was a clutch shot maker. Like, what's up, Jelly Bean? I see you in here, man. Hope you're doing good, bro. Hope the family doing good too, newborn and everything. He was a clutch shot maker, man. And of course, he did the little. That's why you see on the thumbnail, you'll see, his kiss of death or whatnot, and that's what they call that shot, the kiss of death, because he pretty much put Phoenix to rest. And Phoenix had a good squad too. They had a good squad, and then they eventually went on to win the championship. But you had a lot of clutch shot makers on that Houston team. You had a Robert Horry. You had a Mario Elie. You had a Vernon Maxwell. You had a Kenny Smith. You had a Sam Cassell. The Houston H-Town, as they say down here. Shout out to everybody from H-Town. H-Town had a squad. I mean, this new age Houston Rockets team, they ain't got nothing. Absolutely nothing on what the Rockets had. Now, I know what people are waiting for. They want me to dive into this. And all of the players feel this way, which rightfully they should. They feel that a lot of them feel like the 94 and the 95 team could beat the 96 Bulls. if I had to take my pick, I would say the 90. It would probably be the 90. I would say the 94 team, because I think that the 95 team is when they had Clyde Drexler. By then, Clyde Drexler, he wasn't the Clyde that he was when he was in Portland and everything. And 94, like, they weren't lying. I think Sam Cassell had even said on a podcast or something like that. They said they used to cook the Bulls during the regular season. They actually used to win against the Bulls when they had Jordan in the regular season. But of course, you know, there's a difference between the playoffs and the regular season. That separates the men from the boys. But I don't really see them like sweeping them or anything like that, because the way Kenny Smith be talking and the way that some of these other guys be talking, they talking like they could just dominate the Bulls straight up. And what they run to is the fact that, oh yeah, who did you have to stop in the middle when you're talking about Hakeem Olajuwon? Yeah, that's true. That is true. But that's not my sole reason for actually having a chance of beating the Bulls. The Houston Rockets actually had a lot of shot makers. I think you had Scotty Brooks was on that team. You had Matt Bullard, Robert Horry, who was athletic and could get all over the court. But Robert Horry could shoot too. And then he became a more dangerous shooter as he got older too. But Robert Horry back then was so supremely athletic. Look, man, I know some people. I've had this conversation before with people. A lot of people disagree with me, but I think that Robert Horry is a Hall of Famer, man. I really do. I really think that Robert Horry is a Hall of Famer. I really do. I know some people trip out when I say that. Robert Horry, in my book, is a Hall of Famer, because the way that I look at it, he was doing the things that Michael Cooper did. If you don't have a Robert Horry, I put it to you like this: if you don't have a Robert Horry, one could argue maybe not so much the 95 the repeat team with the Houston Rockets, but definitely the Spurs team and definitely the Lakers team. You don't have at least two or three of those championships. And this is another thing. Every team that Robert Horry has been on, they have either repeated or three-peated. Or, they've won multiple titles when you talk about the Spurs, because the Spurs never repeated. So, yes, I would put Robert Horry. Now, is he first ballot or anything like that? No. But if you're going to put, certain guys in there from this generation that we're talking, well, then you gotta put a guy like Robert Horry in there. But to get back to what I was talking about, man, I didn't mean to get off the subject. Mario Elie really was profound in the way that he explained how it was back then. He doesn't like the fact that you have 7-footers out, getting out there shooting threes and all of that other stuff. Now, I'm not gonna lie. It took me a little bit to adapt to that. Like, everybody thinks like, oh, it was it was just Miles Turner stepping out shooting threes, or it was just Jokic out there shooting threes and all this other stuff. we got to remember, RIP to Cliff Robinson. Cliff Robinson, although he wasn't. I mean, he would play center once in a blue moon or whatnot. I mean, Cliff Robinson was damn near 7 foot. He was like 6'11", 6'10", 6'11", but he was out there stretching the floor. So we could go back to those days. And then we also had to realize that Sam Perkins, when he got a little bit older, Sam Perkins was stepping out, hitting the threes every now and then. You know what I'm saying? And when he would catch fire, he would really catch fire. I remember Sam Perkins' shot, and there was nothing you could do about it because Sam Perkins was pretty like 7 foot, 6'11", 7 foot or something like that. Then you had, Arvydas Sabonis. He would, he was doing things that a guard could do, bringing in that European style. He was able to pass really good, stuff like that. So there's certain things that I take into account that you saw early that eventually the game was gonna be a little bit different. That's just the game, because if you go and you've seen it international wise, there were guys out there, that was like 7 foot, and you've seen it when they played in the Olympics. There's guys like 7 foot that are comfortable out there. So I kind of disagree with Mario Elie, but I understand where he's coming from though. But then he also said that Steph Curry is a bad boy. He gave it up to Steph Curry. And the one thing that he said about Steph Curry that I like that he said about Steph Curry is that Steph Curry doesn't talk. He doesn't run his mouth. He just plays his game. And that's one of the reasons why I like Steph Curry. Steph Curry don't cry. He don't whine. You don't see him crying to the officials and stuff like that. And I agree with that. A lot of people wonder, why you got Steph Curry? I get it all the time. Why you got Steph Curry? All they do is shoot. Why you got Steph Curry, man? He can't do this. Why you got Steph Curry? I got my reasons for having Steph Curry. I have a lot of reasons for. If I put to you like this, if I didn't have a guy, if I had a roster, Steph Curry would be on that roster. I'm talking about a full 12-man roster, which I am going to. I think that's what I'm going to do. Is I'm going to construct my roster. I just have a starting five, and of course I got a backup, but I haven't done a full. I haven't done the reserves. I put to you like that. I haven't done the three reserves. So I think that's what I'm going to do, and I'm going to put the guy that I want on there. But my starting five is not going to change. Now that I can have some considerations or some honorable mentions, but it's not going to change, man. I'm probably going to do this until I meet my maker. But I also, I'll make up a new generation. I could have like a new generation roster who I think, over I would say over the 2010s and so on and so forth, because now, 2000s is looked at as real old school. Like when we talk about the 2000s, you talk about Vince Carter. When you talk about the 2000s, you talk about McGrady. You talk about the Kobe when he eventually took over. You talk about the Baron Davises. You talk about, guys like that. But like I said, I don't have no problem with Steph Curry at all, man. And I think a lot of people should appreciate a guy like a Steph Curry. You know what I'm saying? Because when he's gone, y'all guys are gonna admit that, and a lot of people, there's an argument there. A lot of people feel like he really did change the game. You can't say that about LeBron. I think the only thing that you could probably say about LeBron that in a sense of him changing the game and stuff like that in any type of form or fashion is maybe his versatility, being a 6'9", but there were a lot of other guys that maybe they weren't as quite as athletic, but you had a Magic Johnson. Uh, you had a guy that was 6'9" that could handle the rock, pass the ball and everything. Maybe he wasn't as athletic, of course, as LeBron and all that, but I mean you've seen a guy like that now with Kevin Durant. You really didn't see a Kevin Durant. So I, what my point is what did you change? Like with Jordan, he took the game to another level. You had other guys in there that were trying to sky through the air and do all that other the herky jerky moves in the air and change the direction and stuff like that. You had guys that were trying to do that. Like, you don't see hardly anybody trying to play like a LeBron or anything like that. But anyway, that's something else. That's a whole nother subject. But yeah, Mario Elie, he did mention Steph Curry, and I like the fact that he gave Steph Curry his flowers. Props to him, man. But um, another thing that I need to tackle right now is the situation about Nipsey Hussle. Now, as you know, Black Sam, uh, who is Nipsey Hussle's brother, um, he was on a podcast, and he had, I think it was his first time being interviewed ever since it was the first time being interviewed ever since the tragic death of Nipsey Hussle, and he spoke of course, he spoke a lot of truth. He spoke a lot of truth in that interview. Um, but the one thing I gotta disagree with him, and he has a right to feel the way that he feels. You know what I'm saying? He has a right to kind of have his suspicions about what took place with Nipsey Hussle. But when he was saying that he believed that Big U was involved, I can't say that. This has been going on in terms of them trying to place Big U in that situation. This has been going on for quite some time, and the internet has taken it and ran with it. Now, Big U had responded, and shout out to Big U, man. Big U's, I got a couple of people that I know that know Big U. I haven't met him personally, but shout out to Big U, man. He does a lot for for the community, man. And he's real heavy in the martial arts, man, too. But Big U, man, um, I'm not gonna I'm not gonna put him or raise any type of suspicion about Big U because he had a lot of love for Nipsey Hussle. You gotta remember, man, this guy, um, at one point, they of course they're in the same under the same umbrella when we talk about the same set and everything. Even though uh, eventually the guy Eric Holder, who ended up taking out Nipsey, they was in the same set or whatever. So not that that has anything to do with it, but I know that probably in the past they probably had their disagreements and stuff like that. But I, I don't think that Big U would do something like that, you know, because he taught Nipsey Hussle a lot, man. You know what I'm saying? And he was always in his corner and stuff, you know. And that guy, Eric Holder or whatever, he had spoke on him and he basically said that, that guy was, he had issues and stuff. You know what I'm saying? And he was just a crazy dude and he felt like doing something crazy that day, and which led to Nipsey Hussle's demise. And I'm with him 100%. Like, like a lot of people gotta understand, man. The reach that Nipsey Hussle, that he had. You know what I'm saying? It was a type of reach, man, in the community that a lot of people felt that, in terms of power, they wish that they had. You know what I'm saying? Like he was able to reach beyond rap. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people were looking beyond his rap career and looking what he was doing in terms of entrepreneurship and him being a businessman. And he was a pillar. He was a force in his community. Now, does that mean that he was, a perfect individual? No, but I don't think that uh, he would rub Big U, one of the one of the forces in his community, one of the powerful people and a powerful pillar in his community. I don't believe that Big U would do something like that. And Big U is done. He's done with those days, man. He's not. Why risk something like that when Big U he's living a good life. He was living a good life when Nip was here. And to me, Big U really, he really started staying low key. But I like how Big U, he's still able to have interviews and he's still able to let people know, you know what I'm saying? He's able to defend himself. That's what I see. It'd be different if he wasn't doing no interviews, if he wasn't saying anything, if he wasn't if he wasn't out there to defend his name. It'd be a completely different situation. But he's doing that, and he's not running or ducking and dodging any type of question that they're asking him. So I think it's unfair. It's unfair that you place a guy in that situation. I mean, really, honestly, I wouldn't. He's the last person that I would look in the direction of. Of course, I don't know the politics of what's going on in LA or anything like that. I'm not trying to sit up here and talk about, you know, LA politics and everything that goes on there and stuff like that. Of course, I can't do that. But from the outside looking in, I really don't see it. But like I said, I am on the outside looking in. But I guess it's because I've listened to Big U in his interviews and when he talked and everything. Uh, when he was on the Vlad interview, I listened to that. But I like to listen to other stuff outside of Vlad TV. You know what I'm saying? Because Vlad ain't doing nothing but trying to interrogate people. And I know that Big U, he kind of knows that. I think he's well aware of that. So there's certain things that he's going to talk about, and there's certain things that he's not going to talk about. But I highly doubt it, man. I highly doubt that. Really, I don't even there in my mind. I don't put him there at all. I don't put Big U there at all. You know what I'm saying? As a matter of fact, uh, we got to look beneath the surface and look at all types of different angles and stuff like that. It could be so deep to the point where it could be the least, the person that you least expect. You know what I'm saying? The people that actually, are saying that they love him. The people that actually saying that they care about him and all this other stuff. You know what I'm saying? Uh, their relationship, of course, was, it had to do, of course, with the gang banging and stuff, but it was business too. But I don't believe that he would be that shrewd to take a pillar in the community out. I just don't see that. I really don't see that, man. And then I know Slim Thug was talking about Drake yesterday. Shout out to Slim Thug, man. He was talking about Drake yesterday. He was on his live, and he was talking about Drake, and he was talking about Sauce Walker and everything. And of course, he disagreed with Sauce Walker and what he had to say and stuff. He took up for Drake. Now, Slim Thug has always had a profound respect for Drake as an artist because I think he was saying that Jay Prince had played him a track. This was before, of course, Drake had got big and was running things and stuff like that. He played he played him a track, and Slim Thug instantly knew that Drake had the potential to eventually start things. And he was right. He eventually. The thing about it is Walker, he disagreed with him because of course Sauce Walker was saying that uh, Drake didn't show no love. He didn't show no love back by doing more collabs and stuff like that. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm with Slim Thug because that's cold. Sorry about that. I'm not gonna sit up here and say that Drake didn't do any type of collabs or anything like that. Drake did collabs with some people that wasn't do no songs with. But I mean, what do you want? What do you want him to do? Do you want him to do songs with every single person in H Town? Like he's not from there. You know what I'm saying? Look, I'm not trying to come to uh, Drake's like defense or anything like that, like fully or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Because there are some things about Drake that he done that I really disagree with. That he was talking about. A lot of that is for entertainment. It's a lot of truth to it. It's probably a lot of truth that isn't. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot that is not the truth. But Slim Thug, man, he did have a good point. He said, "You're talking." He said, "Why can't everybody just be happy for a guy in which Jay Prince had vouched for?"